Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Aloha, starseeds and lightworkers. Welcome back. So this is being recorded on Christmas Eve. So those of you that celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. We just had the winter solstice and Yule. So happy holidays. In that regard, starseeds, lightworkers, we have come through quite a portal. Venus is in retrograde until the 29th of January. So we do have reflection that's happening in the area of relationships. Venus is in Capricorn, so we can see some major changes at this time. And I just feel like before we get completely started, let me just say thank you guys. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. This beautiful mural my friend made for me. I am so blessed. So we give thanks for that. And yeah, what's been on my heart lately has been this shift and change into sovereignty and our personal sovereignty. So switching over from being in service at the detriment of self to what is going to turn your light on the most, starseed and lightworker. Because when they're showing me the movie Stardust, okay? And if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's a great watch. It's not an ad. I just really like it. But Claire Danes plays a star that has fallen out of the sky. And what do stars do best? When their heart is happy, they shine. And that light just came on when I said that, right? And so this is a beautiful time now to readjust, reevaluate what it is that you want, what would make your heart sing. And I feel like the other thing too is we've been through such an ascension process to my starseeds and lightworkers. Lately, I have been getting a lot of downloads from my Arcturian family, and really speaking into being in my body. So many of us, because we're the way showers, have gone ahead of time and really lost our minds, or in many regards, or have been went through much of the bodily symptoms that happen with ascension. So there's certain parameters that we're used to at this time, but many of us kind of went up and out of our body in order to place the light on the grids where it needed to be. But now we're embodying the new frequencies. And so it's a shift that's happening. So I know for myself, I felt a little bit lost at times. So we're going to look and see what Spirit has to say to us through the cards. Because it's such a change. I've spent most of my time in my life since one of my major wake-up events in 2002, serving everyone else. And so this is new for me to learn how to serve myself. And what Spirit has been showing me is this is collectively amongst the lightworker community, not just me that's going through this change. So if you're out there and you've been the big servers and the doers and the empaths, and you're feeling that shift, know that you are not alone. I am also feeling that shift, and let's create a beautiful new earth together. And that comes through the joy and the happiness of the self, and giving self permission to be happy after experiencing so much clearing. Okay, so let's take a little bit of Hawaiian salt together. Just a pinch. Okay. And that is my share for the day. Okay. Where do we want to start? They said energy oracle cards here. So let's see, what spirit do you want to talk about with the starseeds and lightworkers? I'm leaving it open. There's not a specific question. I just want to see what energies they want for us. These readings last for about a month, so from this will take us into the new year here. We have contract. Okay. So many of you, this has to do with contracts both physically and metaphysically. It's a number 6, which is the number of not only, it's kind of the number of the self, it's the number of power, and it's the number of love and harmony, and the Star of David, so high magic. Okay, so we have these contracts. This particular picture reminds me of Libra because it's the Justice card. Some of you may be getting physical justice if you've been having, law contracts. For many of you, I feel like there's a change in how you're going to be doing work. And so some of you may have contracts with that need to be adjusted. And the major majority, I feel like, are accessing and updating your Akashic records, so your Akashic contracts with other beings. So I feel like because we've merged to this singularity, this one timeline, and I got chills when I said singularity, okay? So we've merged to this 5D and beyond timeline. The 5D's already been made, they're saying. So many of us who have been on this journey for a long time are actually existing or working with much higher than 5th dimensional frequencies. So they're showing me even up into the 12th and 13th dimension, but we're accessing those during sleep and dream time. And so for many of you, and myself included, what they're saying and showing to me right now is there's a lot of contracts that are outdated that's been in the Akashic records. So like certain relationships or jobs or patterns. I'm noticing a pattern, a survival pattern that is outdated because now they're asking me to switch into the thriving or thrival pattern. And that's new for me, okay? So many of you may be moving out of... Penny, stop. Sorry, my Pen got real excited, my dog. Come here. She likes to help during these, but she's shaking the table all over the place. Okay, Penny, stop. And so, sis, come here. Okay, so... Some contracts need updating. Feels like there is a need for more fun and playfulness. Looking to see who's loyal and who is there with you and for you. And changing the idea of even loyalty, right? So some people, it's like, I'm ride or die. Okay, but why though? Like, why do you have to die? Like, why, if it's not vibrationally correct anymore, they're showing that there's a need to release certain relationships or move into a different state of being, okay? So this particular month, I feel like as we move into the end of the year, what they're showing is many contracts completing. So it's like tying up the loose ends of the old frequency. And then 2022 is a 6 year. It is a year of love, relationships. It is a year of coming back to self. 6 would be, so you have Tesla's 369. Okay, so 3 is conception. 6 is in the womb. It's incubation. 9 is birth. Okay, so we have the 6th year where we're in the incubation, where we're in the mother's womb, where we are learning what it is to be human in the new frequencies. So learning the new body, both our physical body and our energetic and emotional bodies, they're changing drastically. And so certain emotional frequencies that used to be our go-tos are no longer yielding the joy. The other thing that they're saying is that sometimes starseeds and light workers, there's this expectation that when we get to that we're supposed to be in joy and bliss and nirvana 100% of the time. And that level of joy, the human body can sustain it for certain amounts of time. So they're saying change the expectation. So moving into thriving is the next logical step. It's not this huge quantum leap, okay? So sometimes in our minds, we think that we're making this huge quantum leap. You're actually moving into the next logical step. The next logical step for people and beings, we'll call it, rather, who have done the spiritual work is to thrive, is to be there to guide. How can we guide others if we're working on our survival? Okay, so this is the time, starseeds and light workers, to actually thrive on Earth so that we have a lot to give to the collective, so that we add that joy to the grid. And it is the next logical step, okay? So what they're saying is you're here, okay? You're here now, right now, to receive. Okay. Let's get a Sacred Destiny card or two they gave. We have love. And we have patience. Okay, beautiful. So Spirit's acknowledging many of you, of us, are moving into new levels of love. And they are asking us to take patience, but it's interesting because what they're giving to me right now is that they're acknowledging that we have been patient and that we have I don't like the word test, but they're making it seem like we've passed a test, okay, within ourselves, and that it is the time for love, and that they will bring it together. Now, for some, this is romantic love. Some of you already have your romantic beloved, so you're not looking for that. But love is all there is. So this is more than just the physical love, though I do feel like those are the contracts that are being reworked, because with this Venus in retrograde and next year being a love year, we'll call it, and power through love, many of you will be entering into serendipitous relationships, spiritual relationships, partners who are conscious, and those of you who are already partnered, you're taking your relationship to the next level or choosing a different partner, depends on where you are in your grid, they're saying. And so it's time to let the love in. Okay, so these contracts that are opening up, there's a huge theme of love, and it's balancing out. So for those of you, if you've been single for a very long time and wanting to have that physical love so you can not only experience the joy, okay, that's enough to just experience the joy, but I feel like for many of you, self included, you want to add that vibration to the grid in order to elevate Mama Gaia, in order to elevate the consciousness. And there is something to be said about having a partner. For those of you who have been partnered and would really like to be single, okay, that's also love. So in this time, they're saying, be patient with others as we're all learning to love one another, and as these contracts get updated. But they're also asking you to ask the question inside yourself, when making decisions, is this the most loving decision for me and for all involved, right? So consider yourself first, have compassion for yourself first, and then the ecology of those around you. So changing it from a have to, I feel like for many of you that are watching this, I have this feeling of obligation that is really a bit overwhelming to my body right now. Like my whole back and like chest got a little bit tight. So you're releasing the obligation, being patient with yourself. What is the most loving decision for yourself? Because anything done out of obligation typically isn't the most loving for anyone involved. Though it does get some things done It's the harder way to do things. It's the harder way to process. And so what they're saying is they're updating the processing. Okay, and so Starseeds and Lightworkers, you're getting an update to your processing. And that processing, because I just got chills right in the back of my medulla, so like where you would enter for the third eye, that process is through joy now. Okay, so there's been, I know in my community for years, there's been this focus on clearing, cleaning, changing, and the changes that are now happening is accepting what has already been cleared, accepting the perfection, accepting the rewards, accepting the joy, learning through joy, learning through love, learning through loving experiences. And that is a shift for many people, okay? And so it doesn't mean that we all have to be like hippie doodle dandy, okay? If you are, great, but you know, it's not everybody's super woo-woo just because you're a starseed. I know myself, I can seem that way, but I'm really tend towards the logical. That's, you know, there's all different types of starseeds, okay? And so, but this is just saying that you are going to be having more loving experiences coming in. We have the Moon Maiden, which is new beginnings. Beautiful. Look at that big full moon. Okay, so the full moon's going to be major for you guys. This is a 41. That may mean something to you. It reduces down to a 5, which has to do with change. Okay? And these are changes for the better. So Spirit is showing in this particular reading that the beautiful changes that are happening, and I feel like these are updates to our bodies physically, as well as our love quotient. How much joy can you receive? How much good are you willing to receive and keep? And there's no need to grasp, okay? Because that grasping or attachment is the feeling that of lack, okay, like that it won't come back. But we're moving as a collective, Starseeds and Lightworkers, into that abundance, that there is always more, and there is always more love, there is always more joy, there is always more. It's creating the heart magnet, okay? I've been listening to, what's his name, Joe Dispenza's meditations, and that's been really effective for my pineal gland as well as my heart magnet. So I can feel myself beginning to emanate a frequency rather than to draw it in from the field. And this is what they're talking about in the updates that are happening for the Starseeds and Lightworkers. Is you have already been emanating a frequency, but this is like tuning it up to a much higher level and releasing the contracts that feel like you have to pull from the grid in order to get light. Like this is direct source access is what they're talking about. And so you're going to be viewing yourself differently. There may be a change in how you identify. Like I'm feeling like some people are going to want to change their names or move to a new place, or they're identifying with the wealth side of them, or you know, they're identifying with the being in love side of them. So it's like for some of you, your contract for being single is up. So while it's been you wanting to be in a relationship, there's been the comfort zone. So I feel like in general, the identification with the comfort zone is moving, and what you're now going to be comfortable with in the future, the new beginning that's happening, is actually this love and joy and completeness. And it's happening from the inside out. For many of you, I do feel like, because we're looking at this contract card again, and it's blind justice, with the books being there, I feel like some of you may be getting education, and it may be having to do with laws, or those of you who are into that type of level of education. In general, I feel like you're going to be getting new skills, and how you show up in the world that's going to be more loving for you. It's providing better for yourself, and it feels like a lot less stress. Okay. I'm sorry if you can hear it's Christmas Eve, and down at the beach they're having a little bit of a party, so if you can hear that music, I apologize. But hey, I'm all for the good party. You know, it's time to have that joy again, so we're going to enjoy the love that they have. This is surrender to the sweetness, so hopefully y'all can see that. Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. Okay, so Spirit definitely has this theme. It's time to surrender to the sweetness. You've surrendered to the harsher ways of learning, starseeds. Now it's time to surrender to the sweetness. And it's really beautiful, like for those of you that want to be coupled, you see this couple here, he's just chilling in the water, and she's ready to get in there soon, but they're coming together on their lily pads. And so you've drawn together at the well of the emotion. It's time to surrender to the sweetness. And we have called. It says soul gifts and training, it's time to step up, okay? Spirit is calling you to love, starseeds and lightworkers. They're calling you to new beginnings. They're calling you to your heart song. They keep talking about the heart song. Each of us has this soul emanation that sings to the universe. And it's like, makes me want to cry a little bit, because I can just feel it. And I can feel all the different songs that come in. And it's like it keeps our bodies in place. Because we always call back into our home frequency, okay? And each individual, each unique part of God's source comes together to have this beautiful symphony together. And so they're asking you to surrender to the sweetness of it, okay? It feels really, really beautiful, you guys. I feel like... let's just get a little bit of tarot. I feel like you know that it's time, okay? You know it's time to feel the love. And now it's just the surrender to it. It's the surrender to the happy, you know? I've kind of had like a feeling of, wow, I'm getting used to it being happy. Okay. Yeah, we have Ace of Pentacles here. New beginnings, new offers. Some of you have new energy coming in, okay? And we have Page of Cups reversed. So there has been a feeling of a bit of distrust, or feeling like things maybe aren't going to come in the way that you were thinking. It's like a block in your creativity. There may have been some childish emotions that have presented in the last, few months. It's like you're not seeing the signs, okay? And they want you to see the signs. They want you to see that it's time for the happiness, because they're sending it to you. I feel like some of you are jaded in a relationship or workplace, and it's just time to move on, and making the decision and the choice to go for what's the most loving for you before Spirit has to intervene, okay? So they're asking you in this month to make it your intention to surrender to love, to surrender to the sweetness, and to allow yourself to release any contracts that are no longer in line with your spirit, with your soul, and move into love and thriving and the new beginnings. It's a really, really beautiful time, okay? So thank you so much. Thank you, Starseeds and Lightworkers. Sovereignty, love, surrender to the sweetness. That's the important thing for this month, okay? So thank you so much, and until next time.